Pam, 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 pam. The game, the man. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Mm. You get a drink. What's that? Pam, 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 pam. Ba-dum, ba-da-da. Ads. We'll be back after the ads. Hello, Alyssa. Hello. Give me a bit. Making lunch. I'm having fried chicken. Mm, yeah. Hello. Hello. Cozy Maxing. Bum, 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 bum. Today, I'm gonna go down, watch some videos from AT&T archives. Want to start off with history of vacuum tubes, and we will see transistors, then first computers, and then the Unix operating system, and ARPANET. We will start off with vacuum tubes. It will be a good time. Mm-hmm. I snuck out of work a little early today. Felt good. But I napped a lot. Ba-da-bum-ba-da-da. Do you get around anytime you post on Twitter? Do you get a random like? Hello. Oh, what a banger! This is the version from Ramin Dwadi version is from Westworld, isn't it? Right, if I recall correctly. Paint it black. Yeah, very good. Well done. Good taste. Good. Yeah, I get a random like from epic streamers. The epic stream. I feel like it's like some automated thing. Anytime I post a link on who is this? What up, banger? How are you, Mr. Cash Machina? You do, right? It's like so. What the heck is going on? This is some automated account. Right. Because by promo, you wish you got off work early. Ah, do you go to the office? I mean, I snuck out. I snuck out like 1 hour earlier. It's just that, man. If I leave exactly at work time, then I catch rush hour. I'm home like 1.5 hours late. Not fun. And I need my nap. Mm-hmm. If I don't get my nap, I get cranky. Work from home, blessed for now. Oh, I'm so jealous of work from home people. But soon, an opportunity came my way. An opportunity through Twitch, surprisingly. You've got to work out some kinks. Hopefully, they'll be willing. Um, yeah, I'm surprised, man. His journey. Yeah, I'm excited for this song. Also, Westworld, banger show. I'm just sad that they canceled it, man. What the hell? They left it on a cliffhanger, and I really like the show. I watched the OG as well, the movie, and the guy that made Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is the one that made the original Westworld, adapted from Westworld. Um, Ramin Djawadi also did Game of Thrones, correct? They always cancel the good shows. Yeah. What else has he done lately? Has he been doing the new series? The new what was it, Song of Ice and Fire? No, no, no. What was the prequel? All soundtrack. Bum 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 bum. All the music. Parasite. Oh, they did a version of video games. Oh, mm. Bad guy. Oh, bad guy. The Billie Eilish song. Nice. Okay. Enter Sandman. Sweet Child of Mine. Holy moly. Wicked Games. The heck, Wicked Game come on top. Yes. Space Oddity. Free Will. Runaway. Oh my god. The Entertainer. Seven Nation Army. The Raj. Oh, Cream. Cash rules everything around me. Heart shaped box. Amazing. We'll listen to this playlist when I get to Rust. You were number 3? Yeah, wait. Alyssa, let me show you mine. Most what? No, wait. I think you were one of like my biggest fans in the thingy. I do spend like all day on Twitch. so I'm a streamer. Wait, biggest fans? All right. Wait, 2 collaborations, 8 raids. Big. And then who did I raid? We were each other's biggest fans. Yeah, Prime is my most watched. Second Hall's Beauty, third Charlene, fourth Antonia, and fifth Code Girl. If Code Girl streamed more, she'll probably come second because she quit. I mean, she didn't want to quit, but she just couldn't. With that, bow, 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 bow. Good stuff. Yeah. How are you, Alyssa? I'm gonna the pause. Very good. And begin. Right. Unlock Microsoft Edge. We're ready. You're gonna hear the transatlantic accent.
First radio telephone.
Green bean casserole and sandwich. Ooh, loud.
Hello, Bill. Still home?
Entering the Twilight Zone? What's that? I know Twilight, but I don't understand the reference. What did I want to say? Oh, Did you see the server stuff that did you try the Cobblemon? Old shows look like that. Oh, like this. Oh. Um are you going to be playing like Cobblemon stuff? It's just reminding them of it because of the era. Oh, all right.
Chupapi
Hello, Mr.
muñeño.
Nail Pointer.
Chupapi
To
muñeño. Chupapi
Poppy. Oh,
muñeño muñeño.
yes. Welcome in, buddy. We're watching History of Vacuum Tube. And then we'll go back to Rust. Rust. Welcome in. We just started, so you didn't miss anything. Beep. And I'm having fried chicken. Go from work to play Cobblemon. Oh wait, so the server is up, alive, and it's being put to use. Very good.
This is a special one on vacuum tubes, Bill. How about showing him some real ones?
Oh, sure thing. Step right over here.
Very good. I'm happy.
Take a look in there, Mr. Thomas.
That's where your voice current has stepped up before it goes out into the ether, Lowell.
It's a whopper, isn't it? They're among the largest tubes made, Mr. Thomas. They handle so much power that they have to be cooled by a circulating water system.
Yes, sir. If it weren't for these babies, there wouldn't be any radio. And worse yet, Bill and I'd be out of a job.
You bet.
Yes, and a million others owe their jobs to the vacuum tube, including myself. As a matter of fact, practically everybody has been benefited by it in some way. My broadcast
Some
begins
why?
with 25 years ago in New York, Alexander
You guys watch yeah, I'll bring the topic
Graham
up later.
Bell repeated the first words ever transmitted by telephone. Mr. Watson, come here, I want you.
Mr.
But
Watson.
This time, the inventor's assistant laughed. I can't make it under a week, Dr. Bell. I'm in San Francisco. It was the first transcontinental telephone conversation. This exchange of greeting marked the opening of transcontinental telephony. The same year saw speech transmitted across the
Telephony.
Atlantic by the first radio telephone. Yet both of these miracles of communication developed from a single discovery, the vacuum tube. A discovery which sprung from a chance observation in this workshop of a great inventor at Menlo Park, New Jersey. The story begins in 1883 with trouble, the breaking of the filaments of Thomas A. Edison's incandescent lamp. Observing that the break invariably occurred at the positive end of the filament, Edison reasoned that some unknown negative electrical particles were bombarding this end of the hot wire. Further experiments revealed that the flow of charged particles could be influenced by an extra wire sealed into the bulb of the lamp. Edison recorded this curious phenomenon in his notebook and turned to his many other inventions. It became known as the interesting but useless Edison effect. A generation later, Dr. Lee DeForest added a third element which transformed the Edison effect into a bottle of magic, the first vacuum tube. But it remained for Bell Telephone Laboratories scientists and engineers to perfect and commercialize.
I wonder
the
how much
vacuum
power
tube.
it used to take. Like, is it
Notable
worse
among
than
this
what
host of
AI is doing
researchers
now?
for Western Electric and the
Or
Bell
was it?
system were Doctors Jewett, Colpitts, Vanderbilt, and the late Dr. Arnold. With their colleagues, they developed the tube into a commercial sensation. And then in 100 specialized forms, they applied it to the facilities of electrical communication. Thus, from this product of the Bell Laboratories grew four great new industries: long-distance telephony, radio, the modern phonograph, and the sound motion picture industries.
Oh right, before
Can
there
you
was no
recall the
sound.
telephone of a generation ago? New York to Denver was the longest call that could be made, and it was uncertain.
That was
Then
one of the
vacuum tube went
like
into service,
manual human
and
phone.
the
Oh,
transcontinental telephone became a
it
reality.
should like be operating the
Lines
switchboard.
spread to every city and town and hamlet in the country.
Those were
Radio
real
telephones
invention.
spanned every ocean, connecting the telephone in your home with 38 million of the world's
What?
40 million telephones. All because a vacuum tube can amplify the human
You're
voice
revolutionary.
without distortion. The product of this magic lamp we call a vacuum tube is not light, but electricity. Electrons set free from the atoms of matter that hold them captive. And the world and all it contains are built of atoms. Yet hidden in every single last atom is from 1 to 92 electrons. This wire, like everything else, is composed of atoms. And if microscopes could magnify 10 million times instead of paltry thousands, one
Yeah.
of these atoms probably would appear as a tiny elastic sphere. A sphere formed by negatively charged electrons swarming around a
When did they
massive
make this?
nucleus of positive electricity. Some substances,
1940.
especially metals,
Holy moly.
do not keep their electrons tightly bound to the individual atoms, but allow them to roam around aimlessly between the atoms in the interior of the substance. Such substances are called electrical conductors, because if a battery is connected to the ends of a wire made of such a substance, the free electrons drift along the wire, continuing their aimless motions as they drift. It is this mass movement of electrons that we call an electric current. Whenever the aimless motion of an electron carries it past the surface of the metal into the space outside, it is immediately pulled back by the electric attractions between the electron and the atom community it has left. To become useful in a vacuum tube, however, these electrons must be separated from their atom communities and allowed to move alone. This we do by heating the wire with an electric current. The atoms and electrons become increasingly agitated until some of the electrons rush at the surfaces of the wire at high speed, speed so high they could flash from New York to Detroit in 1 second. At these speeds, electrons are able to break through the electric forces which try to restrain them. They escape to move about in space outside the wire. Now, if we set up a nearby target of positive electricity, the electrons which escape from the surface of the wire are pulled directly to the plate. Actually, however, the space between the wire and plate is jam-packed with gyrating air atoms, literally billions of them. And to reach the plate, the electrons would have to bump their way through them like midgets in a subway crowd. And many of the electrons would be pulled into strange atoms on the way. This problem is solved by enclosing the wire and plate in a glass bulb. Then a vacuum is created by pumping out every possible air atom. And right here is where we get the name vacuum tube. Now the negative electrons shoot straight at the positive plate without interference. This pulling of electrons from atoms isn't done for amusement. On the contrary, it's an important economic problem. Research to date has increased many-fold the number of electrons that can be freed for a cent. And each year, this little item alone saves us about $12 million on power bills to run our radio sets. Here's how it was done. Research revealed that some atoms give up their electrons more willingly than others. So the engineers devised coatings for
Like in
vacuum
science
tube
class,
filaments.
substitute teacher,
These
when they play
coatings
the
produce
movies.
surfaces
Yeah, I'm your
which
substitute
permit
teacher.
electrons to escape at comparatively low temperature.
The lazy one that
In this
just
way,
like
the power
doesn't
required
do
to heat
much
the
and like
filament
lets the
is
video do the
substantially
explaining.
reduced. Now, with but a trickle of current, the improved filament barely glows. Yet away from each square inch of its hot surface flow more than 10 trillion electrons a second. The positive plate, the tube's second element, is completed by adding an outgoing wire. Control, however, is lacking. Needed is a traffic cop on the electronic highway. And this is the job of the vacuum tube's third element, or electrode, the grid. And with its introduction begins the real utility of the tube. Made negative to repel the negative electron,
So wait.
begins the real element, or electrode, the grid. Now, with but a trickle of current, the improved filament barely
State one.
glows. Yet away from each square inch of its hot surface flow more than 10 trillion electrons a second. The positive plate, the tube's second element, is completed by adding an outgoing wire. Control, however, is lacking. Needed
State
is a
zero.
traffic cop on the electronic highway. And this is the job of the vacuum tube's third element, or electrode, the grid. And with its introduction begins the real utility of the tube. Made negative to repel the
It's
negative
crazy,
electrons
like-
flowing from the filament, each increase or decrease of voltage applied to it lets fewer
This is what it took.
electrons pass to the plate. Or should you prefer an Arabian Nights technique?
Oh, this.
These aroused monkeys throwing pebbles at a target through a shutter ably portray what goes on in a vacuum tube. Simple, isn't it? Yet it's the essence of one of the world's most important discoveries. The ability of the electronic vacuum tube to amplify or control any sort of electrical wave motion puts 100 million new tubes to...
So this accent, the translation. Oh yeah, that's crazy. Oh, so I was on, like, I think a couple years ago, I was on Facebook call with a school friend, uni friend, and I was looking out the window, and then I saw a lightning strike, right? And I'm like, oh shit! I told my friend, oh shit! I just saw a lightning strike, and my friend's like, oh wow! And then I heard the thunder. So my friend heard about the lightning strike before I heard the sound of the thunder. That's how fast, like, information moves now. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like,
work each year. Yet if we know how they are used in telephony, we can understand their function in all speech transmission apparatus. To reproduce the human voice across the United States without vacuum tubes and telephone lines would require about 150,000 hog callers spaced within earshot. The time entailed, more than 5 hours. The telephone does it better in a 1/12 of a second. And instead of hog callers, it uses repeater stations, 40 or more, dotting the speech highway, for instance, between New York and San Francisco. Inside are banks of vacuum tube amplifiers, repeater tubes, the telephone engineers call them. Tubes in each repeater station function on every long-distance call, amplifying the voice each way. Here's how it's done. Vibrating under the impact of sound waves, the transmitter diaphragm starts a pulsating movement of electrons along the wire. But as the energy of the electrons is gradually used up in forcing those ahead into like pulsations, the voice current becomes weaker by the mile. Entering the grid in feeble waves, the voice current is nevertheless ample to mold the electrons flowing from the filament into a similar wave pattern. Re-energized without distortion, the voice current now speeds from the plate and tube, arriving at the receiver with just the right strength to reproduce the original sound waves. How much is your voice amplified
achieves,
by these repeater
if we
stations
achieve
between New York
space
and San
travel?
Francisco? You say it. I can't. The figure is 10
I don't know.
with
It's hard to
99
predict.
zeros after it.
I feel like
Yet the voice sounds are neither louder nor softer when they arrive than they were when they started.
medicine's advancing
These magic
quite
lamps
fast as well.
amplify enough to exactly
People are
offset
living
the
longer.
energy lost on the way. Regardless of the merit of an invention or discovery,
I'm banking on
it achieves
I'm banking on it.
greatness only when it contributes to the well-being of many people. This is the role
But
of
also,
Western
like, how am I gonna
Electric and Light
be
Organization.
able to
The
afford
mission of making such
life if I have to live
inventions as the
longer?
vacuum tube available to all of us. Theirs is the exacting business of building into each
No, well,
product
so
qualities
live
of
that
long
long.
life, dependability,
All
and
right.
operating efficiency.
Yeah, even if it
Here in the
becomes
Western
affordable,
Electric
they'll find a
vacuum
way
tube
to, like,
plant, each operator is a skilled
profit as
craftsman,
much as
a trained
off
specialist
off
in
it
his or her
as they
particular
can.
task. This painstaking care in manufacture has earned for the telephone repeater and its sister tubes the unique distinction of being custom made. Typical is the making of repeater tubes, the vacuum tubes used in long-distance telephony. They begin their long life in this automatic hot-cut flare machine. Long lengths of glass tubing are cut into pieces,
Blowing
and
into the
carefully
glass.
flared to size at each end, each piece destined for use in the glass foundation of a tube. The prepared flares are here drawn out at one end to receive the
Have you guys
spaced
seen
lead-in wires.
the little tube that in the end turns into a water bottle? Plastic tube water bottle. Yeah, it looks like this. This is what ends up. It needs simple cell repair or something which keeps the living cells in our body and cleanse the undead cell. What's it? Cytokine. Wait. Kinesis? What's the final step? No. Not sure. Opposite. Cell death is called apoptosis. Yeah. A form of programmed or cellular suicide. The cell systematically dismantles itself. Insane. But yeah, this thing gets blown into and it becomes that. I feel like this is for smaller bottles. And I don't know where I have one of these somewhere in the house. I don't know where my dad kept it. Yeah. And it's tiny. I mean, average. I mean, um,
The flares, prepared and formed, are now put on metal supports in which the lead-in wires have been inserted. Then the stem-making machine whirls the glass and metal combination through the carefully spaced and sized jets of burning gas and through automatic pressing jaws. Into an annealer, it last delivers a
Annealer.
complete glass foundation or stem. A stem gas-tight, free from strains, with lead-in wires exactly sized and spaced for the mounting of tube electrodes. The uniformity of Western Electric tubes is largely due to the precise work of this automatic grid winding machine. It holds two heavy wires which serve as grid supports, notches them to secure the small grid windings, winds the finer wire in place, then hammers the notches over the windings. Spacings between windings are uniform to a few millionths of an inch, and the operation is concluded without stretching or deforming any of the wires. From rolls of carbon-coated nickel sheet, this carefully guarded punch press turns out halves of plate sections. The plate halves are next fastened together by a sort of metal stitching called staking. The resulting electrode, the plate which catches the electrons in the completed tube, is accurate in its dimensions to a few thousandths of an inch.
They were able to do all of this because doom scrolling wasn't a thing.
The filament is begun in annealing and coating machines. Metal ribbon, the core material, is drawn without stretching through heated tunnels and over pulleys and guides until the chemical coating
The report.
is completely
Yeah.
applied. Running with perfect synchronization, this machine cleans the filament ribbons in the heated tube on top and returns them through 3 chemical coating baths. Throughout this entire process, the chemical composition of the coating and the dimensions of the coated filament are controlled to the closest limits. The elements of the tube...
Let me take a little... I'm gonna go to the washroom and let the lad pass. I'm back.
are its glass foundation, its filament, grid
All
and plate,
really convoluted.
together with some supporting
Um,
pieces. And
Also,
these are
like
all brought together in the assembly
getting things
position.
done
On
in our
accurately machined
generation
shape,
is
they are
like
fitted
it
into each
just
other
takes
and securely fastened in
back.
place
It
by
just
electric
takes
welding.
like a click of a
Adjusted
button.
for each weld,
That
the
like
welding
I
machine
feel like
delivers precisely the
our
amount of
minds are
electrical
still
energy
not
required to
evolved
make the metals flow
to
together
be
to
able to
obtain a
like
secure
do
joint.
things so fast
Completed, the
that
tube structure is accurate
it's
within
hard to like
microscopic limits in all its
we get
spaces.
rewarded for
None of
like
the
little
parts are
actions so
distorted
quickly.
in the least as a result of the assembly, and yet the finished product is sufficiently rugged to withstand ordinary handling, both during subsequent manufacture and in shipment and use.
Like we can
At
get a
this
lot
point,
more done,
the
but it also
complete
takes a
assembly
lot
is
out of
sealed
us.
into a glass blade. The assembly is held in the revolving head of a gas-fired machine. The bulb is put over it, and then the bottom of the bulb is cut away by melting at a point where bulb and stem can be securely fused together. The completed seal-in, as it is called, is gas-tight and free from strains or leaks or other defects. On this automatic exhaust machine, the tube becomes a vacuum tube, for all gases are drawn from it. With vacuum pumps operating full blast, the tube is swept into a tunnel where it is heated electrically to a degree just short of melting the glass. This drives all impurities out of the glass envelope and the tube elements and down into the pumps. At this point, the base is fitted over the lead-in wires. These are clipped and bent into position, and the tube is sent through a gas-fired tunnel to fasten the base to the glass by high-temperature cementing. From the basing machine, the tube goes to the soldering position.
So this would be
Here, the
equivalent to
leads are soldered to the sides of the metal projections
one
that make the
transistor.
contacts between the tube elements
Sorry,
and
yeah.
the telephone circuit
One-
in which it is to be used.
How many transistors is in a CPU
Each
now?
based and soldered tube now goes into an aging socket.
Let's say
and receives full load
I7
operating voltages for 8 to 16 hours.
14th
And at the
gen
end of this stabilizing
number
treatment, it
of
is tested for uniformity,
transistors.
stability, and serviceability. And finally, the repeater tube is carefully cleaned. It is now ready for use.
Oh, they don't disclose.
But even here, insistence on manufacturing perfection is manifested in the sample tubes picked at random from the production
Exceeding
line
9
for
billion
special
transistors.
tests and life runs. And in these files are kept the records of each of these sample tubes. Records which show that these tubes will operate
That's
over
crazy.
50,000 hours and still perform at top efficiency. Here are the tubes which give voice to radio and talking pictures. Tubes that enable the public address system to speak to thousands and the telephone user to
Thousands.
talk across continents. And built into all of them are the endurance and high performance of the telephone repeaters. From those no larger than a peanut to this 100 kilowatt job and giant 250 kilowatt vacuum tubes, the biggest broadcasting tubes in the world. Yes, tube making in this plant is more than a manufacturing process. It's an art. And the men and women you have seen are artisans. Artisans who translate the achievements of research into the qualities inherent in all Western Electric vacuum
Who is it that
tubes.
said engineering is an art? Engineering is
Or
an
bringing an elevator
art.
level with the floor. Wherever you find the vacuum tube working its magic, it will be promoting your security and comfort
Richard James.
and convenience.
Right?
Calling Flight 14.
Who said?
OK 14. Weather at terminal ceiling unlimited. Thin scattered clouds at 500 feet. Visibility 5 miles.
Yeah, Richard
Wind
James.
northeast 17 miles.
There is only one course.
Without
That course
gloves.
the decision that the rights of man, liberty, and justice are in the United States to stay.
Hello, Mother. I'm phoning from the ship.
Mother.
We're 1,000 miles at sea.
Okay, headquarters. Car 60 on the way to Lee Avenue. Call.
Bow,
Give me
bow,
a radio compass
ba-da-ba-ba,
bearing on that
bow,
SOS.
bow.
Hurry it up. All of these things and more are happening every day. Happening because of a single product of
I'll
industrial
explain
research.
why they spoke that way.
And while it was girdling the earth with speech, the vacuum tube added billions to our national income, raised our standard of living, produced numberless new conveniences. From it developed great and small new industries, the network of long-distance telephony, radio broadcasting, high-fidelity recorded music, talking motion pictures. This magic lamp has created 1 million jobs in every city and town and village in the country. Jobs in service and manufacture. Jobs in entertainment and education. It has built 1,000 factories, opened 10,000 stores and shops, created vast demands for the raw materials of
Alibaba
farms
movie
and
is a
mines
streamer.
and forests.
A stream of watching
All these
Alibaba
things and
movie.
more happened because of a
streamer
single
was
product
what?
of individual enterprise and the American way of life. And so long as they endure, there will be no end to the miracles of this modern Aladdin's lamp, the vacuum tube.
No vacuum. So, because radio and sound, it was playing an old Alibaba movie. Alibaba movie? The heck? The 40 Thieves. I mean, it should be in the public domain by now, I believe. Right? Or a Creative Commons that you should be able to play it on stream. Yeah, if it's it's public domain. So you should be able to play it on stream without any issue. Like I can play Steamboat Willie, right? Which is the OG Mickey Mouse. I can play it on stream. I can re-upload it to my YouTube. I can monetize off of it. But I can't refer to it as Mickey Mouse. I have to refer to it as Steamboat Willie. Because they were not able to the copyright for this expired expiration really recently. I think sometime last year, 2024. Was pissed off, yeah. And then there's also Winnie the Pooh, right? You see how Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 or Winnie the Pooh Blood, wait, how they can name it like this. It has to be Winnie the Pooh with the dashes. If you say Winnie the Pooh, you're gonna get sued. If you use Winnie the Pooh with the dashes, this is public domain. Are in the public domain. Expired in 2022. It's very, very tweaky. There's a very interesting history of how like the laws regarding an author's ability to extend the contract. And it's very different now because the work is not owned by a singular person. Like Disney's not Walt Disney anymore. It's like a corporation or a public company. So they can just keep renewing a lot of their work forever as long as they remember to before it expires. Yeah. So back then audio was not transmitted in high fidelity, right? So radio, movies. That accent is not a natural accent. It's a fake accent. It was an accent that was invented for radio and movies at the time. It's called the transatlantic accent. And watch this, I guess. Yeah, let's watch this.
Listen, Walter.
Listen, I made a great reporter out of you, Hildy, but you won't be half as good on any other paper, and you know it. We're a team, that's what we are. You need me, and I need you, and the paper needs both of
Sold
us.
American.
Oh, all right, God.
Listen, Walter, please.
If you've ever heard old movies or newsreels from the 30s or 40s, then you've probably heard that weird, old-timey voice. This type of pronunciation is called the transatlantic or mid-Atlantic accent, and it isn't like most other accents. Instead of naturally evolving, the transatlantic accent was acquired. Now, this means that people in the United States were taught to speak in this voice. Now, historically, transatlantic speech was the hallmark of aristocratic America and theater. In upper-class boarding schools across New England, students learned the transatlantic accent as an international norm for communication, similar to the way posh British society used received pronunciation, essentially the way the Queen and aristocrats are taught to speak. It has several quasi-British elements, such as a lack of rhoticity. Now, this means that mid-Atlantic speakers dropped their R's at the ends of words like winner or clear. They'll also use softer British vowels, dance instead of dance, for instance. Another thing that stands out is the emphasis on clipped, sharp T's. Now, in American English, we often pronounce the T in words like lighter and water as D's, but transatlantic speakers will hit that T like it stole something.
Creatine bulbul.
Water. But again, this speech pattern isn't completely British, nor completely American. Instead, it's a form of English that's hard to place, and that's part of why Hollywood loved it. There's also a theory that technological constraints helped Mid-Atlantic's popularity. According to Professor Jay Oberski, this nasally clipped pronunciation is a vestige from the early days of radio. Receivers had very little bass technology at the time, and it was very difficult, if not impossible, to hear bass tones on your home device. So what happened to
this? Did you change your
accent?
Did you change your username?
Bob notes that mid-Atlantic speech fell out of favor after World War II, as fewer teachers continued teaching the pronunciation to their students. That's one of the reasons the speech sounds so
I'm trying to figure out who you are.
When people learn it, they're usually learning it for acting purposes rather than for everyday use. However, we can still hear the effects of mid-Atlantic speech in recordings of everyone from Katharine Hepburn to Franklin D.
You'll get your
Roosevelt.
sexos
And,
after this
of course,
video.
countless films, newsreels, and radio shows from the 30s and 40s. Now see here, Mr. Weathersby, there's no more money in dog racing. The future is radio, you hear me? Radio. Listen here, copper. You lay those mitts on me and I'll give you what for, I will. Say, doll,
Don't know
what
you had
say we go
6K
down the
points.
boulevard and catch the
You'll get
dirigible
those points
races?
back. I refund them.
I just like the giggles that we're gonna get the end.
But you'll also get your sexo. You asked for this. I'm glad I changed out of my bathrobe. But you get one sexo, not three sexo. There you go. No! I refunded it. Not to be abused. All right. Oh, I wanted to ask. Who's your favorite late night talk show host? Like, are you guys a fan of watching late night talk shows? I watch a lot. Not lately, not the new ones, because I don't know, it feels too manufactured. My mom, the heck. But growing up, I watched a lot. My favorite was Craig Ferguson. 1 hour. Holy moly. Can't do that. Another time. Let's see if there's a clip though.
Didn't you ever do that with your crazy comedy antics? Didn't you go a little too far and regret it?
Moi?
Yeah!
I've had deaf people go, don't do that again.
You just did it. You just did it again. You did it again.
I'll be getting, well, I won't get any calls.
No. See, you did it again.
I know this is Robin Williams.
No.
Yeah, stop right there.
No, stop it.
Stop.
You know what?
Too late now.
Too late now.
And the blind guy's going, what did he do?
No.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Look, the only safety... Nice to be here. Yeah, stop it.
Colbert and John Oliver. Okay, both of them are good. But they're like more modern. They're today's talk show hosts. But the thing is, Colbert and John Oliver, they're not talking with people. They're giving monologues, right? So, and these are like scripted. Whereas ones I like to watch, it's raw. Like, you know, they and they're a little tipsy. They get a couple of drinks before they start their talk. When in high school, we watched a lot of Colbert Report. His current stuff isn't really. Craig is very witty. Yeah, he's so suave. He's very flirty as well, with all of his guests. So you get to really see like seducing hottest celebrities in Hollywood. You get to see like you know, a more like unfiltered side of them. I want to get a couple more clips. Cillian Murphy. But I wonder why he's not doing talk show anymore. There will never be another Craig Ferguson. What's going on? All right. Let us switch categories. Let's try to get one lesson out of the way. We are at ownership. Okay, I feel like I should be able to do this, and then we'll do some bonking or whatever I feel like after. Beep boop. Beep boop. Soft. Damn it. Oh, also music. Listen to the Westworld soundtrack. Bruh. There's never any useful chatters on Kick. Also, did you see that band that Twitch did recently? Rakai make these nuts popular? Hey. 2-year Twitch ban, right? And I don't really see what he did so wrong. There was a wager with clicks for some Fortnite thing challenge. And he was supposed to pay clicks 6,500, right? And then he reacted like, guess who's not getting that money? You ugly B word. Fuck you. And moments later, the stream went offline, and then he got like a warning account on his account citing illegal activities, right? $730-day suspension. which is not fair when you compare it to the police. There's no police involved. Twitch did it. When you compare it to, it was he tried to make someone shoplift a book. No, that's Nina Lin, wasn't it? No, Nina got banned for like a day or something. Third news again, her Twitch. First time she got banned was like 1 week for like sexually assaulting someone on stream when he said to stop. And the second was like bragging about, or the third was about, yeah, like bragging about shoplifting from Target, which is significantly worse than whatever the other guy did. So I don't know what Twitch is up to. There's a clip that one said she would return in a week or two. So I don't know. And that's why I like also like keeping Kick open as an option. I don't know what's going to happen with Twitch as a platform. Yeah. It is weird. Very weird. I do love Twitch overall. I just hope they can navigate all of this better and in a more fair and just manner. I don't want to get the terminal out. We'll just use this. All right, let's begin. Understanding ownership. Also, music requests. CEO gives you the creeps. He's a bit of a gooner. But I don't know. I think he's just like decent overall. He was in a very bad mood during TwitchCon. I wanted to go and say hi. Like I was around him a decent amount of times. There was a thing where he arranged with other streamers, including Prime, to play pickleball. And he was waiting in the pickleball area for the streamers to show up, right? And shortly before Prime showed up, he peaced out because there are a couple of like IRL's Twitch app. Did you see when they launched the Twitch app? What happened? I know that like when he launched the stories feature and he was like on Twitch live. I don't think I know what you're referring to. There were a couple of IRL streamers that went up to him and he was like super like upbeat at first, and they started grilling him about like the platform while they were doing their IRL, and like he was trying to navigate that. He didn't expect to be put on the spot during like those IRLs, and then he just like looked to be in a really bad mood and then walked away. All right. Understanding ownership. Ownership is Rust's most unique feature, has deep implications for the rest of the language. It enables Rust to make memory safe guarantees. Song requests are available if you guys want to add to the queue, by the way. Guarantees without needing a garbage collector. So it's important to understand how ownership works. In this chapter, we'll talk about ownership as well as several related features, borrowing, slicing, and how Rust plays out in memory. Holy moly. Damn, son. All right. My head's going to break. Set of rules that govern how a Rust program manages memory. All programs have to manage the way they use the computer's memory while running. Some languages have garbage collection that regularly looks for no longer used memory. Is the music too loud? It'll be fine. But I was on Togglebit stream earlier today, and Sergeant Pepper was there too, and they were talking about audio. And I'm like, I want to know what you guys are doing to make your voices sound like whatever it sounds like. It's so crisp. And I hear back my own stream and like, man, this sounds like potato. How are you guys dealing with it? Rust uses a third approach. Memory is managed through a system of ownership. Not that it's not bad. All right, all right. The set of rules that the compiler checks. If any of the rules are violated, the program won't compile. None of the features of ownership will slow down your program while it's running. Because it's a new concept for many programmers, it does take some time to get used to. Ads in a minute. The good news is that more experience you become with Rust and the rules of the ownership system, the easier you'll find it to naturally develop code that is safe and efficient. Keep at it. All right. When you understand ownership, you have a solid foundation for understanding the features that make Rust unique. In this chapter, you'll learn ownership by working through some examples that focus on very common data structures. Strings, the stack, and the heap. Many programming languages don't require you to think about the stack and the heap very often, but in systems programming languages like Rust, whether values on the stack or heap affects how the languages behave and why you have to make certain decisions. Part of the ownership. Oh, this is loud. Stack stores values in order, it gets them first and removes the values in the opposite order. This is referred to as last in, first out. Collaborate. Think of stack as plates. When you add more plates, you put them on top of the pile. When you need a plate, you take one off top. Adding or removing plates from the middle or bottom wouldn't work as well. Adding data is called pushing onto the stack, and removing is popping off the stack. All data is stored on the stack must have known fixed size. Data with unknown size, at compile time, or a size that might change must be stored on the heap instead. Heap is less organized. When you put data on the heap, you request a certain amount of space. Memory allocator finds an empty spot in the heap that is big enough, marks it as being in use, returns a pointer, which is the address of that location. Okay. This process is called allocating on the heap and is sometimes abbreviated as just allocating. Pushing. Ooh. Wait, what happened to your song? What's next? Because the pointer to the heap is a known fixed size, you can store the pointer on the stack, but when you want the actual data, you must follow the pointer. Think of being seated at a restaurant. When you enter, you state the number of people in your group, and host finds an empty table that fits everyone and leads you there. If someone in your group comes late, they can ask where you've been seated to find you. Pushing to the stack is faster than allocating on the heap because the allocator never has to search for a place to store new data. The allocation is always at the top of the stack. Right. And heap is the one that, okay, I got it. That location comparatively, allocation space on the heap requires more work because the allocator must first find a big enough space to hold the data and then perform bookkeeping to prepare for the next allocation. Accessing data on the heap is slower than stack because they follow the pointer. Contemporary processes are faster if they jump around less in memory. Continuing the analogy, consider a server at a restaurant taking orders from many tables. Most efficient to get all orders at one table before moving to the next. Taking orders from table A, then B, then one from A, then B would be much slower process. By the same token, all right. Up, 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 up. processor can usually do its job better if it works on data that's close to other data as on stack rather than farther away as it can be on the heap. When your code calls a function, values passed into that function, including potentially pointers to the data on the heap, and the function's local variables get pushed onto the stack. When the function's over, the values get popped off the stack. Keeping track of what parts of the code are using what data on the heap, minimizing the amount of duplicate data on the heap, and cleaning up unused data on the heap so you don't run out of space are all problems that ownership addresses. Okay? Once you understand ownership, you won't need to think about the stack and the heap often, but knowing that the main purpose of ownership is to manage heap data can explain why it works the way it does. Rules. Keep these rules in mind. Each value in Rust has an owner. There can be only one owner at a time. When the owner goes out of scope, the value will be dropped. Okay. Variable scope. Now that we're past, we can pass ownership. Okay. Now that we're past basic Rust syntax, we won't include all of the func main. So if you're following around, make sure to put the following example inside a main function. All right. The result, our examples will be a bit more concise, letting us focus on actual details rather than boilerplate. Look at the scope of some variable. Scope is the range, right? S equals string hello, string literal, where the value of the string is hard-coded into the text of our program. Variable is valid from the point at which it's declared until the end of the current scope. Right, let's see. S is not valid there. S is valid from this point forward. Do stuff with S. Scope is over. S no longer valid. Pum, pum, pum. Should I do this daily mix or should I go with this playlist? To the Westworld playlist. Pum, pum. At this point, the relationship between scopes and when variables are valid is similar to that in other programming languages. Now we'll build on top of this understanding by introducing string type. Oh, also nil pointer. I got like an epic follow today. Let me show. I don't like self promoting. No, I'd rather just raid into someone's channel. Meep. Fucking goo. Yeah. But Footlong was like, I know what he was up to. He was like, on Toggle Bit stream. He's like, oh Abu, what have you been what he was something like, what have you been what code have you been streaming lately? I'm like, I haven't coded in years, but I've been going through the Rust book. And then Toggle Bit was like, oh, that's awesome. If you stream code, I'm gonna follow you. You're the follow. I'm like, oh shit, let's go. Sneaky footlong. Is this the song you wanted? I like Justin. Let's see if that works. Yeah. What other songs do I like from Justin? Oh, What Goes Around is also good. I really like Mirrors, but I'm not gonna listen to it. It's brings very bad memories. Yes. Where's suit? Suit and tie. Okay. At this point, the relationship between scopes, let me bring this down, when variables are valid is similar that in the other program. Now we'll build on this understand by introducing the string type. Okay. We've done data types. Can be stored and popped off stack when scope is over, can be quickly and trivially copied to make new independent instance if another part of the code needs it to use the same value in a different scope. We want to look at the data that is stored on the heap and explore how Rust knows when to clean up the data, and the string type is a great example. We'll concentrate on parts of string that relate to ownership. These aspects also apply to other complex data types. Whether they are provided by the standard library or created by you, we'll discuss string in more depth in Chapter 8. We've already seen string liter. Oh, the other thing I wanted to do, and I'm going to do it this weekend, if I wake up early enough, I'm going to catch up. So today is... Whoa, it's Thursday already. So I guess it's going to happen today. Or like, because today is the weekend. I mean, god damn it, fucking stupid doxing me. Let's see, how many days do I need to catch up on? 4 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do this. Can we stream it though? Oh, we can? Okay. Look at that. Who else? I don't know any. Oh, I know Taylor. I know Mad Hat. I know Talking Sasquatch. I haven't seen much of his content. But man, I really need to like know more personalities in cybersecurity world. It's just that, like, I don't know. I've heard a lot of like it's my it's nothing new to me. But when I'm in like software and game dev space, like I'm vibing, I'm chilling, and I'm learning stuff. Like, or at least it's my way of keeping on top of what's going on. In cyber world, it's like the same stuff. I don't know. Okay. We've already seen string blah, 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 but they aren't suitable for every situation where we may use text. One reason is that they're immutable. Another is that they're not using every string value that can be known when we write our code. For example, if you want to take user input and store it for these situations, but who is freaking creatine bulbul? God damn it. I need to know. I'm looking at the chat history. This is gonna freaking bother me. Yeah, I don't know. I forget. What if you want to take user input and store it? For these situations, second string type, what? On heap, there's amount of text that is unknown to us at compile time. You create a string from string literal from function. Double colon allows namespace from this particular from function under the string. Oh, good song. String from. We will discuss syntax more in the method syntax section of chapter 5 when we talk about namespacing with modules, path for referring to an item in the module tree in chapter 7. This kind of string can be mutated. Okay. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. Memory and allocation. Final executable is by string are faster and efficient, but these are properly only come. What is the difference between what's the first type of string? This I'll figure out later. Fortunately, we can't put a blob of memory into binary for each piece of text, whose size is unknown at compile time and whose size might change while running the program. With the string type, in order to support a mutable growable piece of text, we need to allocate an amount of memory on the heap unknown at compile time to hold the contents. This means memory must be requested from the memory allocator at runtime. We need a way of returning this allocator when we're done with the string. The first part is done by us, okay? Implementation requests the memory it needs. Pretty much universal, okay? However, second path is different. Language, the GC, damn it, keeps track and cleans up memory that isn't being used anymore. And we don't need to think about it. In most languages without a GC, our responsibility to identify when memory is no longer being used. And to call code explicitly feed, just as we did to request. Doing this correctly has historically been a difficult programming problem. If we forget, we'll waste memory. If we do it too early, we'll have an invalid variable. If we do it twice, that's a bug too. We need to pair exactly one allocate with exactly one free. Rust takes a different path. Memory is automatically returned once the variable that owns it goes out of scope. There's a version of our scope, okay? Not in scope, no ownership. S is valid from this point forward. Do stuff with S. Scope over. S is no longer valid. Natural point at which we can return the memory. Our string needs allocated. When S goes out of scope, variable goes out of scope. Rust calls a special function for us. Function is called drop, and it's where the author of string can put the code to return the memory. Calls drop automatically at the closing curly bracket. Okay. C++, the pattern of deallocating resource at the end or lifetime is sometimes called resource acquisition. Resource acquisition is initialization. What? The drop function in Rust will be familiar to you if you use RAI pattern. Okay. And has a profound impact on the way Rust code is written. It may seem simple right now, but the behavior of code can be unexpected in more complicated situations. When we want to have multiple variables use the data we've allocated on the heap, let's explore some of these situations now. Variables and data interacting with move. Variables can interact same data in different ways in Rust. Let's look at an example using integer listing 4 to 2. You can probably guess what it's doing. Yeah. This is indeed what's happening. Yeah, because integers are simple values with known fixed size. These two are pushed onto the stack. Okay. Let's look at the string version. Looks very familiar, so we might assume that the way it works is the same, that the second line would make a copy, but it doesn't quite what happens. Look at figure 4.1 to see what's happening to the string under the covers. A 3 parts shown on the left, a pointer into the memory that holds the content of the string, length, and capacity. A group of data is stored on the stack. On the right, the memory on the heap that holds the contents. S1. Okay. Hello, length 5, capacity 5. Okay. Length is how much memory in byte. Okay. Currently using capacity in amount of memory in bytes as the string has received. Difference between length and capacity matters, but not in this context. So for now, let's ignore. Okay. When we assign S1 to S2, string data is copied, meaning we copy the pointer, the length, and the capacity that are on the stack. We do not copy the data on the heap that the pointer refers to. In other words, the data representation in memory looks like therefore 2. So we just like pointing to the same location, right? We copy the pointer, right? Representation does not look like 4.3, which is what memory would look like if Rust instead copied the data. Okay. If Rust did this, the operation would be expensive. Got it. Earlier, we said that when a variable goes out of scope, Rust automatically calls drop function and cleans up heap. Okay. The problem is, well, 2 and, whoa. Go out of scope. They will both try to free the same memory. This is a problem when S2 and S1 go out of scope. They'll try to see the same. This is known as double free error and one of the memory safety bugs. Okay, freeing memory twice can lead to memory corruption, can probably lead to security vulnerabilities. So sure, memory safety. Let after the line, Rust consider S1 as no longer valid. What? Therefore, Rust doesn't need to free anything when S1 goes out of scope. We try to use S1. Interesting. Okay, what did I do wrong? I don't use it. Okay, you get an error. Rust prevents you from using invalidated reference. Should I say I want both? Interesting. Clone. More information. Okay, if you heard shallow copy and deep copy while working with other concept, copying the pointer length without copying data sounds like making a shallow, but because Rust also invalidates the first variable instead of being called shallow, it's known as a move. So like they're both not pointing to the same location at a given time. It's just that the pointer gets changed from S1 pointing to it to S2 pointing to it. Okay. So S2 value goes out of scope. It'll alone free the memory and we're done. In addition, there's a design choice that will never automatically create deep copies of your data. Therefore, any automatic copying can be assumed to be inexpensive. Okay. The inverse of this is true for the relationship between scoping, ownership, and memory being freed via the drop function as well. When you assign a completely new value, Rust will call drop and free the original value's memory immediately. Ow. Let mute. S string hello, S string ahoy. Oh, I can run it here. Ahoy world. Initially declare S, bind it to hello, then we create a new string with the value ahoy, assign it to S. This point, nothing's referring to array or in the heap at all. Original string thus immediately goes out of scope. Rust will run drop function on it, and the memory will be freed right away. When we print the value at the end, it'll be ahoy world. Right. Do want to deeply copy the heap data, not just a stack. We can use a common method called clone. Okay. So it's just like a deep copy. Find produces behavior zone where the heap data does get called. When you see a call to clone, you know arbitrary code is being executed. That code may be expensive. The visual indicator something different is going on. Stack only data copy. Another wrinkle we haven't talked about yet. Code using integers, which part of which was shown in listing 4.2 works and is valid. Okay. Oh, this works? Why? We don't have to call, but X is still valid, but why? The reason is that types such as integers have a known size at compile time are stored entirely on the stack. So copies of the actual value are quick to make. Bro, what? That means there's no reason we would want to prevent X from being valid after we create variable Y. In other words, there's no difference between deep and shallow copying here. Calling clone wouldn't do anything different. Leave it out. Rust has a special annotation called the copy trait that we can place on types that are stored on the stack as integers are. We'll talk more. The type implements the copy trait. Variables that use it do not move, but rather are trivially copied, making them still valid after assignment to another variable. Rust won't let us annotate a type with copy if the type or any of its parts has implemented the drop trait. If the type needs something special to happen, we add the copy annotation to that type. We'll get a compile time error. To learn about how to add copies, see deliverable traits. Okay. So what types implement the copy trait? You can check documentation for given type to be sure, but as a general rule, any group of simple scalar values can implement copy. Nothing that requires allocation or is some form of resource can implement copy. Here are some of the types that implement copy. Ints, booleans, all floating point, okay, character, and tuples, okay. Ownership and functions. Mechanical passing a variable to a function are similar to those when assigning a value to a variable. Passing a variable to a function will move or copy, just as assignment does. Listing has an example with some annotation showing where variables go into and out of scope. Comes into scope, takes ownership. Okay, on string. Comes into scope, goes out of scope, and drop is called. Memory is free. Next copy. Some integer comes into scope. Goes out of scope, nothing special happens. Okay. Take ownership. No longer valid. Okay. Let x comes into scope. Cause I32. Okay. X does not move into the function. It's okay to use x afterwards. Then x goes out of scope. So if I run this, I do S, it's going to error. Right? And X, Y. Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, baby. Got it. Hello, Mr. Sergeant Pepper. Yeah, we getting rusty. Oh, me. So, if you try to use S after the call to take ownership, Rust would throw a compile time error. The static checks protect us from mistakes. Try adding code to main that uses S and X. Bruh, I already did that ahead of you. Ahead of you. Yes, please. Returning values can also transfer ownership. Okay, that returns some value with similar annotations as those in listing 4.3. Okay. Let's get this. Ninvo. Leave me alive. All right. Gives ownership. Returns a string. That some string, yours. Some string is returned. Moves out to calling function. Hi. Takes and gives back a string. String, return string. All right. All right. Gives ownership of yours. So it returns yours. Value in S1. Damn it. Yes, please. Not here. What happened? S3 unused. So yours got printed. Okay. S2 comes into scope. S2 is moved into, takes and gives back. So, me. I need no same party. What happened? We got 11. Make it alright. What did I do? Oh, S3 goes out of scope and it's dropped. Try this. Damn it. What happened? Move the return value to S2. Oh, wait, S3. I see. Hello. S2 was moved. Right. But if I take go here, S2 exists. Yes. Nice. Ownership of a variable follows the same pattern every time. Assigning a value to another variable moves it. When a variable that includes data on the heap goes out of scope, the value will be cleaned up by a drop. another variable. While this works, taking ownership and then returning ownership with every function is a bit tedious. But if you want to let a function use a value but not take ownership, it's quite annoying that anything we pass in also needs to be passed back if we want to use it again. In addition to any data resulting from the body of the function that we might want to return as well. Rust does let us return multiple values using a tuple. Okay, hello, s2 and length. Calculate length. Calculate length. Return string and usize. Set length equals s dot length. Return s and length. String and usize. Usize? Unsigned integer. I see. Got it. It's too much ceremony and a lot of work for a concept that should be common. Luckily for us, Rust has a feature for using a value without called references. This is going to be painful. Damn it. So much. I thought this was going to be quick. All right. How much I have? Okay. We'll give it another 20 minutes. And then you gave me this rustlings. Okay. Shall we continue tomorrow? It is. I did start stream late today. We shall continue tomorrow. Let's see who's live. U2 is also unsigned. Usize is also unsigned, but its size is determined by the architecture of the machine. Neat. Okay. Neat. Key differences: usize, U8, U16. Okay. So it would be 64-bit if it's running on a 64-bit system. Right? It would be 64 if it was. Okay. Nice. Nice. Let's see who's live. Just say no way. Is someone doing art? I've been having music playing this whole time and I muted the wrong thing. Damn it. Stop doing that. Cat doing art stuff. There's me doing Mass Effect. All right, let's do Alan. Alan is Swag Charhar's brother. He's a comp sci graduate as well. He likes to play League. Say hi. Abu Love Raid. Thanks for hanging, folks. Oh, wrong. Fuck. Abu. No, it's late, man. I want to, but I think I need to sleep early because I'm really tired. Mate. Okay, okay. All right, fuck it. Let's do one mega bonk round. I'm very like no it's just that is I am so easily convinced. Um let's do it. We'll do one mega bonk and then we'll raid out to Alan. But I'm gonna end my kick on YouTube. Bye, kick.